Hello, this is Juliet, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you ways to work with silence in a positive way in your conversations. Now, the thought of silence in conversations may evoke anxiety, it may evoke the desire to jump in with anything, with something to fill the void of the anxiety and awkwardness of silence. And actually, silence can be very powerful as a conversational tool. It can help with expression, create the space for reflection and emergence. So here are 3 ways in which you can use silence in a positive way in your conversations. First one is listen. Remember that listen and silent have the same letters in them. So when someone else is speaking, just listen to them. Listen with intention, listen with interest, and resist the temptation to interrupt. Let the other person have their space to express themselves and just listen. Second way that you can use silence is in a very deliberate way. You can actually even make it part of an agenda to be reflective. Or what you can do is when you're in a conversation with one person or in a meeting with a group of people is to take a moment, invite them in to have a pause where we'll have 2 or 3 minutes to reflect in silence. And they can either sit and be thoughtful, or they can write and journal during that time. But it's really a moment to be silent, to be reflective, and this really helps enormously with processing, digesting, but also allowing the space for questions to emerge and new ideas to emerge as well. Now, continuing on from this is the 3rd way that you can work with silence. So either continuing from a reflective pause or in a situation where you are confronted with silence. So it may be that a topic hasn't necessarily been sufficiently attended to, or there's a pregnant pause in the conversation where you get a sense that something's not being said. So here are some questions that you can ask when you are working with silence. So, what's sitting with us right now? What's emerging for us right now? What are we missing? What are we avoiding? What do we not know yet? What are we pretending not to know? By the way, the pretending not to know question is actually from a book called Fierce Conversations by Susan Scott. It's a really great book, take a look at it. Another question is a question from one of my clients, and she came up with the question that was, what have the introverts not said? I love this question because it acknowledges that some people are introverted or shy and it may be difficult for them to speak up, but it invites them to speak up in a safe way in the conversation. Make sure that all voices are heard. This is really important. Other questions that you can ask are questions such as, are there any areas that we haven't considered? What needs to be voiced? Are there any voices that we haven't heard? What needs to be voiced in this conversation? So there are some ideas for you, and then there is also the George Clooney question, which is what else? So those are 3 ways in which you can use silence in your conversations. I invite you to experiment with that, and if you would like to learn more with me on how you can use silence and listening in your conversations, then please do feel free to contact me.